Hey guys, and welcome to the second episode of Community Spotlight. And I just want to start off by saying, for those of you that might have missed my 5,000 subscriber video, in there I did mention that the Community Spotlights are now going to go onto a more of a monthly basis. You know, maybe every 3 to 5 weeks I'll put one out. It's not going to be weekly because to me, at the rate that I put videos out, you know, a Community Spotlight would be coming out like every other video and it just wouldn't make sense to me. So, expect these on about a monthly basis, which makes more sense to me. Alright, so I just want to jump right into the first segment of the Community Spotlight, and that is the formerly known as Channel of the Week segment. I'm actually changing the name to just simply Featured Channel because this isn't weekly anymore. And I'm also doing one more rule change. I had said in the first episode that the Featured Channel is going to be somebody that I'm not subscribed to. Totally changing that because, you know, it doesn't make sense to me that somebody that I would feel the need to promote a channel that, you know, I'm not subscribed to when I have all these other great channels that I might, you know, be subscribed to or plan on subscribing to that really do deserve more exposure than, you know, someone say that I wouldn't subscribe to. Because I actually went and I subscribed to Games and Me, my last featured channel, because those guys are great and it just didn't make sense to me. So hopefully you guys, I'm sure my subscriptions, the people that I'm subscribed to will appreciate this, but just wanted to let you guys know. This episode's featured channel is for somebody that has really been gaining a lot of popularity really fast, and they really do deserve it. Now, I did mention them in my 5,000 subscriber video, but I still think that they need many more subscribers. They need much more exposure because this person puts together really amazing and informative videos. You know, they're really well presented, and that person is Retrocalypse. So what makes Retrocalypse's channel so unique from everybody else's is not only does he have a really great speaking voice, he's constantly looking at the camera, you know, he knows what he's going to be talking about in each video, he prepares well for them, he gives great impressions and reviews, but the thing is that his channel is actually devoted to just one system, and that is for just the Nintendo DS. Now the aim of his channel is to break the, you know, the common misconception that the DS is only filled with, you know, games for kids or the garbage third-party gimmicky games that just use the stylus in, you know, the wrong ways. He basically wants to show people that there's games out there for everybody, you know, no matter what genre you're into. And for those of you out there that are really, you know, considering getting into buying a DS, check out his channel because he tends to pick up a lot of the high-profile new release DS games, as well as, you know, older ones that, you know, kind of got pushed to the side and no one really knew about. He picks them up and he gives you his impressions on them. And you know, it's really worthwhile to check out his channel, especially if you already have a DS and you're not sure what good games are out there, because he has, you know, he has a wide range of taste in games, and he plays a lot. And you know, you might, I know for me personally, I've found so many great DS games through him. And what you can expect in terms of what type of videos he puts out, he does specific impressions or reviews for certain games. A really cool segment that I like is he does a new thing that he calls now the DS Game of the Month, where he basically goes through the games that he picked up, new releases for the month, and he gives you the one that he feels is the best. I really like that idea. Weekly pickups, he has, you know, a ton of DS games now. He's almost up to 150. So there you have it, guys. There is my featured channel for this episode, Retrocalypse. And right about now he's at about 620 subscribers. So with this video and with the help of you guys, I hope to push him over the 1,000 mark. And you know, if you're a DS owner or someone that's looking to get into the DS, it's definitely a worthwhile subscription. And I hope you guys check him out. Alright, now it's time for the From the Forum segment, which is where I go to my forums at PetesGameRoomForum.com and I pick out a single topic which I think has a really interesting discussion. I read off some of the members' posts that they made in the topic, and I give some of my impressions. For this episode's topic, it's one by 16-Bit Junkie, and it's actually a pretty old topic. It was started back at the end of January, but the discussion still carries on to this day. And it's called, I Just Can't Appreciate the Wii. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to read off some of the posts from this topic, and most of them are going to be condensed because I just don't have the time to read the entire post and everything like that. So just keep in mind, guys, when I'm reading here, while I'm still looking at the camera, I'm reading other people's posts, so a lot of these aren't going to be my opinions. You're going to hear them afterwards, so don't get confused. Alright, the post is from 16-Bit Junkie. He starts by saying, "The Wii is starting to seem like the Atari 2600 with all the ridiculous games on it. I can appreciate a fair few games on it, but I mean, those are all of the games you can expect on any Nintendo console, like Mario, Zelda, and Metroid. I just don't feel like Nintendo should be in the top spot right now with titles like Wii Fit. It is killing consoles that are directed more towards actual gamers." Alright, so let's see what other people had to say about that. It's a pretty bold statement. Topo Fuji says, "Even the casuals who buy into the idea of one or more titles are let down after a few days of use after the novelty wears off. But it's a brilliant scheme, isn't it? That mistake was another sale for Nintendo. I mean, that's an interesting viewpoint. I mean, he's basically saying that people that buy a Wii are, sort of all hyped up about it, everything they hear, and when they finally get it home with their Wii Fit and their, Wii Sports, they play it for a week and then they never buy anything for it. And I remember kind of reading something about that where, software sales for the Wii are like nothing compared to an Xbox 360, so Topo Fuji might be pretty right about that. Next post is from Fatman516. Companies these days are just trying to cash in on the success of the Wii and the portion of people who have no idea what they are buying. They just want to shove out inexpensive games to make a profit. It's totally true. I mean, you go to the store and you look at Wii games, there's tons of shovelware games out there that are obvious quick cash-ins. I mean, all these companies that are coming out of knockoffs of Wii Sports, it's obvious that they're just doing it to make a quick buck. What can you say? Retroclip says, yes, it's loaded with shovelware, but the Virtual Console is amazing. If you're a fan of retro gaming, I can't think of a better or cheaper way to get your fix. As someone who owns over 50 Virtual Console games, I'm happy as hell with the system, and it sees regular play for sure. And in my opinion, the Virtual Console is a great addition to the Wii. I mean, for those of you out there that don't do, emulation on your computers and you don't own these old systems and you just don't feel like going out of your way to have to track down these consoles and buy separate cartridges, I think the Virtual Console is great for the Wii. It's definitely a high selling point. Gion DP says, when in 3 years all we have to pick from is Pop the Water Ball 3, core gamers are left out. As everyone sees the Wii selling a million billion systems, they will tend to move to a more casual market, thus leaving less to choose from. I mean, I'm sure Nintendo is still gonna, be putting out their first-party titles, and there's always gonna be the third-party developers out there that are, gonna be putting out games like The Conduit and No More Heroes and Mad World. They're gonna be out there, but what he's trying to say, I think, is that on the Xbox 360 and PS3, we're gonna see more of a movement towards casual games on those systems as well, and we can kind of see that happening now with the avatars on 360. And you're kind of starting to see it come into play, but I really don't ever think that we're going to see the entire game market for casual gamers. I mean, when that happens, we'll all lose faith. Lazy Days says, I really like Opuna, look into it and give it a try. And I totally agree with you, Lazy Days. Opuna is a great, quirky, really underrated, unknown game for the Wii. And fans of Earthbound that are into that kind of style, definitely check out Opuna. It's a great game on the Wii. Alright, now this next post is actually a really long one, and I've decided to read the whole thing because, in my opinion, it's an excellent post, and it's basically the same exact feelings that I have towards the Wii, so here we go. The post is from Slane. He says, I don't see the point in saying that Nintendo is destroying gaming because they're not. What Nintendo is doing with the Wii is they're pulling in a new audience, the same way they pulled in an audience with the NES and the SNES, to buy and continue to support their product. When you think of the Nintendo name, you usually think of quality first-party titles and mostly games that anyone can pick up and play, and easily accessible to anyone. This is exactly the kind of mentality that Nintendo is trying to convey to the casual market while establishing a new, loyal consumer base, and they're succeeding at a scary rate. I also don't see the point in bashing the Wii because it doesn't have the same graphics or because it's selling ridiculously to the casual market. Because quite frankly, the gaming industry needs the new consumer base willing to spend and buy products. As much as core gamers dislike the casual market with all its heart, the truth is we need the casual market to stay afloat. I happily play my Wii every day and I absolutely love the console. It's just as much as a viable gaming platform as is my 360. There are plenty of great games for it. So thank you, Slane, for that great post. Basically, I have almost the exact same feelings. And the last post that I want to read is from Super Train Station H, and he says, am I the only one who remembers the shovelware flood on PS2 last generation? I don't remember anyone saying to abandon the PS2 altogether because of the shovelware instead of just picking out the decent games. And I think that's an excellent point. I mean, think of it this way. The PS2, every system out there has tons of crappy games, especially, look at the PS2, the big library of games that are out there. There's a lot of bad stuff out there, but you don't see anybody, putting down the PS2 saying to move on to a different console because those games are on the platform. I mean, do you? No. So why should it be the same for the Wii? I just want to thank everybody who left a video response to my last episode's video response request. And I found a lot of great underrated games through your videos. I watched every single one of them, and I hope you guys got some good suggestions out of it as well. So you all know that I love Atlus, because without them we wouldn't get those really quirky Japanese games ported in localized over here in the US. So for this episode, I want you guys to go through your collection and look for games that were published or developed by Atlus. And I'll have a list in the information box to help you decide if it was published or developed by Atlus. But I want you to take freedom with this video. You guys can do a collection video, you can do a top 5 list of your Atlus games, you can focus in on 1 or 2 specific games and just talk about them. Just as an example, Baroque here was originally only available in Japan on the PlayStation 1 and the Sega Saturn. Sting Entertainment came along and remade the game, which was only going to be scheduled to release on the PlayStation 2 and the Wii in Japan, but thanks to Atlus, they published and localized the game for an American audience in the United States, and they did a really good job with the story. And that's just an example, you know, without Atlus I wouldn't have got to experience this excellent roguelike game. And to make this a bit more special for myself, and especially for you guys, in about a week's time I'm going to email Atlus USA a link to the playlist of video responses that you guys do, and maybe they'll check out some of your videos and get a kick out of them and really enjoy them.